Welcome back to Harburn Double O. It's time to remove this board here and make some more room up here. This one's going to be taken off as well, so I'll print off some labels and we'll start taking them off and map it as we go. I don't have to label these ones because they won't be going back in. These wires here are not required any longer, and these 4 servos will be surplus to requirement, so maybe an idea to move the signals down to here. We'll see. All I'll do is take off the labels just now. See if any confusion. Yeah, like that. So I'll move this board across a little touch. I'll need to move this cable as well, I think, reroute it. This is the part where you need 10 hands. So that's the DCC next on the board. What you need to watch is these pins here don't touch the screw. If you're unsure about it, you can put a bit of tape, insulating tape across the screw to stop them shorting. Well, that's the relays back in, the board fixed in. Now you think about the power supply and also the DCC in. This is the DCC here, obviously a bit of short cable, so rather than extend the cable, it's going to make a new cable up. Well, that's the DCC bus, that just plugs in the boat with the layout, and I make these up using the DuPont connectors. Twisted wire, it's no necessary thing for this layout, it just makes things look a bit neater. And the way I do that is rehook one at the drill, put one end in the vise, wind it up. With the DC, it doesn't matter what way they go around. So that's the DCC in. And now you need to think about the power supply. You need a 5 volt and also need a 12 volt as well. 12 volt for the buck converter, and also these two here. Although technically speaking, you can power these with 5 volts as well. Now I've got an option down here with a bit of space. I could put a bus, 5 volt bus, a 12 volt bus, or I can bring in 12 volts down here and put another buck converter in here for the 5 volts. But I'm thinking I'll bring in a 5 volt and 12 volt bus. So for the bus I've just made up a wee DuPont connector. These are all connected together, so let's put on the board. So that's the 5 volt bus now installed as well. I'm just going to power up the power supply and just check it with a voltmeter, make sure. Perfect. So I've wired in the buck converter to the 12 volt power supply. Next I'm going to put the power supply to the DCC next. I will be using the servo connection for the power supply. On the diagram it's going to be set to servo for the jumper settings, so I'll pop off the cover. I'll take a 5 volt power supply up to this point here now. I've got the jumper setting to servo. So that's the 5 volt supply to the DCC next in. It's quite important you get them around the correct way, positive this side here and negative on that side. I've also taken the opportunity to get a bit of cable trunking just to protect the cable underneath the PCB board here as well. So all back together, 5 volts power supply in, it's indicated by power, it tells you it's set on servo as well. And we've got the flashing LED, so that's us ready to start programming the DCC next via the little USB chip in here. So I think that's long enough for this episode, folks. In the next episode I'll plug it in and we'll start the programming of the unit. Thanks for watching.